So, yes, we have this week's offering a Burns Bison, as you can see, and I'm rather hoping that Mick Hill from Wolverhampton can help us out with my following question, and that is, what's the difference between a buffalo and a bison? And I'm sure as Mick will tell us, yeah, cool, wash your hands in a buffalo. Anyway, let's have a listen to it and I'll tell you what I can. Let's go. So, pickups, yeah, and I'll show you the control panel before we have a listen, just so that you can get an idea of what's going on here. So you've got four, there's no selector switch as such, so you've got four knobs here. You've got a tone, a volume, an A and B selector switch, and then these four variants which are called Wild Dog, Treble, Bass and Split Sound. So I'll talk you through a couple of those in a bit and show you a picture, but let's just have a listen to see what they are like. So I've got everything flat out, tone flat out, volume flat out, and I'm starting with Wild Dog on toggle selection B. That's the one that I use for the tune. Okay, I'm just going to move through a few of these. That's warmer, isn't it? So apparently Wild Dog's got a bit more bite and a bit more power. Yeah, very clever. That's called treble. This is bass. This is split sound, which isn't a very clever name, because on position A, which we'll go to, apparently you get you get some from this pickup and some from this pickup. And apparently on the B selection, on the split sound, you get all three. Not very split really, is it? Really nice and chimey. So listen to what happens on A, on Wild Dog. You only get the back pickup on A, on Wild Dog. Ooh, that is skinny, innit? Treble. And treble on A is still the back pickup, but with a different, probably with a different tone cap, different filter, and then bass is just the front pickup. Oh, that's it. And on A, split is that and that. Let's have a look round it. So, as you know, not my usual kind of thing, but couldn't resist it, and of course it doesn't smell of hairspray. This is definitely broom cream. I reckon, and it faithfully follows the original shape, certainly, or nods toward it, with the original batwing style headstock, which usefully tells you on there that it's a Burns Bison. The tuners are adorable. They say Burns on them. The Burns Deluxe tuners on the back. They're nice, aren't they? We like those. Looks like a Corian nut. Certainly the fretboard is rosewood with, looks like acrylic dot inlays, and it's bound fore and aft. The neck itself is a rock maple. Usually that's Canadian, isn't it? The body is made of apparently NATO, which has a similar grain to mahogany, although it's not from the same family. Apparently, it's what's frequently referred to as Eastern mahogany. So, I'll tell you what's unusual about this week and next week. Probably the most common Burns that you'll see knocking about is the Marquee, and they have, not only the Marquee, but an awful lot of the Burns have a 3 or even sometimes 4-piece, I think, scratch plate. You've usually got a bit on the lower horn, a bit on the upper horn, a bit in the middle, and sometimes an extra bit just for the controns. And this one, well, as you can clearly see, it's all one piece, as is next week's offering, which is the rarest guitar I'll ever play. This is, they must have managed to stabilise the paint by now. This is a 2003 model, made in Korea, and it tells us that the paint finish is polyester, and so on the older polyester models, polyester paint jobs, they were prone to cracking and shrinking, and apparently they all do that, sir. And when Baldwin bought Burns and they shipped all of the guitar stock, certainly out to Nevada, in the middle of the desert there, the paint literally popped off the guitar bodies. Anyway, that didn't happen with this. I love the horns, the curly horns. That is so nice. So lovely. Really nice feature. And it's got a neck plate there that has got a serial number and tells you it's the Bison series. I like the whammy bar. It's a Burns Deluxe, I think it's called. Really nice. And we've got, here we go, probably the jewel in the crown. It's got proper vintage Burns Trisonic pickups. Lovely thing. As I say, you've got a selector here and a selector here, and they are pickup selectors, certainly. Exhaust pipe on the scratch plate here, and one volume and one tone. And I'll say, oh, and by the way, and the action, it's right down there. I think it's a little bit less than 1.25, so it might even drop a little bit lower, not certain, but very easy to play indeed. Yeah, 22 frets, 22 really lovely frets, and it's another one that well, I couldn't even really see any cowboy dings down here. There's, it's been around for 20 years certainly, so there's a couple of little marks on it, but very little of note. And that is really all I've got to say about the Burns Bison. It's a beauty. Very nice instrument indeed. Right, I've not measured the pickups yet, as you know. I normally chuck a picture back here about the values. It'll be interesting to see what... I'm not hoping for anything at all, to be honest with you, because I think it'll be rather difficult to get a reading with the configuration the way it is. Right, that's it from me and the Burns, and yes, another Burns next week. Alright, adios amigos, I'll see you soon. Ta-ra.